And we are back live again.
We're back live.
Goodbye, be live. You will be gone very soon, and you wonder why. We're coming for a refund. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen out on Facebook Land, while you're rejoining us, I do hope that you're enjoying this new format of show that we're doing. Instead of dedicating 3/4 of an hour to a chat about a game that happened 3 days ago, we're touching on the game, and we're having what I believe to have really interesting discussions, some different topics every week. And it's continuing this evening. We have been contacted by numerous people throughout the week and since the last show saying they love the new format. In the chat, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Is there something else for next season you want us to introduce? I would like to introduce, and you think this is a professional segue I'm about to do here, lads, okay? I would like to do a segment every week on the other teams at Palace, the under-18s, the under-23s, and the ladies' teams, okay? But the trouble is we're limited to an hour. We're limited to 1 hour a week, okay? Because we want to keep you guys interested. You know, always want them leaving more is the expression in showbiz. Well, that's what we want to do. But ladies and gentlemen, boys, while I've got you there, I do want to talk to you about the other teams at the club. Really interesting chat about Man United, guys. Thank you for that. So the other teams so far in their respective leagues, and we're going to kick off, if you don't mind, spend a couple of minutes on each of them, and we're going to start off with the women's team. So the women's team have got their highest ever league finish this season in the WSL. Thank you again to Nigel Croucher for this information. The under-18s, are hopefully, depending on Fulham, on course to win their under-18 Premier League, and the under-23s are showing some fight, winning games in the last minute. Compare that to the first team disappointments. Of course they are. Right, let's kick off with the ladies. They've completed their season, 20 games in the WSL. They've finished 7th in their league out of 11 teams on 20 points. They won 5, drew 5, and lost 10. Finished with a goal difference of -9. Coached by a friend of the show, Dean Davenport. And Dean, if you're watching this, mate, pick up the phone. You've got my number. Get on the show. Dean Davenport, as I'm sure you guys will remember, helped Jel send all those kits to Africa and did a sterling job. And by the way, people are asking about Jel. Jel's fine. I was talking to him on the phone yesterday. He's fine. He's out gold digging and looking after his poor legs. He's got a couple of operations coming up. So he's taking a bit of a breather off the show. But we will see him again soon. The under-23s currently in 7th place in their league on 33 points. The final match of the season is actually this Friday away at Borough. Last weekend they played Borough at home and won late. And if they were to win, they would progress into their season's playoffs. Boys, you were chatting a minute ago about Wan-Bissaka and Tyreek and even Wilf to a degree. We've got our academy is producing some good talent. I watched that under-23s game against Borough the other day, and we got some good players down there. Good players. They've played 23, won 10, drawn 3, and lost 10. They've scored 44 and conceded 41. Leading scorer is Sean Spence with 6 goals, and also coached by Sean Derry, Palace's very own Sean Derry. And finally, the under-18s. They are currently top of the under-18s Premier League on 53 points with 1 game left. However, don't get carried away with that top of the league, because the team in 2nd place is Fulham, and Fulham have a game in hand and they are on 50 points. So it's not in our hands, sadly. We need Fulham to drop points. And they have.
Can I ask you a question, Nick? Can I come in and ask a question? Do they have to play their final games at the same time, like they do in the Premier League?
I'm not so sure with the under-18s. Certainly on the 23s, I know that they all play simultaneously. Nigel Crap.
Does anyone know the answer?
Nigel,
put it in the chat there, if you do.
I know you are out there. Have a flick in there. Let us know. Good question. Good question. So they've played 23. The under-18s have played 23, won 17, drawn 2, lost only 4 all season. Their leading goal scorer, and I'm going to get this wrong, is David Omilubu, that's it, with 19 goals. And again, one of our own, coached by Paddy McCarthy. So overall, any thoughts on what's going on behind the scenes, guys?
Well, it's very encouraging, isn't it, to see the 18s and the 23s doing so well. The 18s in particular, We have seen some of these names that you've mentioned already that have scored goals at the weekend make the first team squad. Now, I don't blame Roy for not playing these youngsters at this stage in a Premier League when our safety isn't totally secure. But it would be nice if their season, especially if their season is finished now, that in the last couple of games they get in the squad and they get a few minutes. They've got to get some minutes at some point in the first team, and if they're good enough, if it doesn't matter how old they are, they should get a chance. So very encouraging. That's all I would say, really. And I remember back to when the class of sort of 77 won the FA Youth Cup. With Vince Hilaire and so on, and made it, into the first team a few years later, and they were great times. And Selhurst, I think, had, someone will put me right here, but Selhurst had about 20,000 into the Youth Cup final. It might have been more. And it was fantastic to see them doing so well then. And it's sort of
we just need a manager that's going to play them, as people are pointing out in the chat. And Colin Squires, I know you're a bit of an aficionado on the those teams, okay? So please feel free to keep us updated on a regular basis, as he has already done so, because Fulham apparently have won their game in hand 8-0.
They're not very good.
Fulham have obviously got some talent as well, and south of the river, aren't they? So
I honestly think with the under-18s, and I would like to say, just on a side note of sort of the training facilities and stuff like that, I drove down Copers Cope Road not so long ago because I live relatively close. I'm only like a mile and a half away, and I knew the grounds, like the areas where they're developing and stuff like that. And I must say, the training pitches and grounds and the whole setup look absolutely world class. So I think for the future, there's going to be some real positives. But in regards to players being promoted over the last few games, I would normally say at the end of every season, when you're safe, because we're not challenging for the Europa Leagues, etc., I would normally encourage youth players to actually get involved in a squad. I personally think for the last 5-6 games, I think the under-18s and youth team players should stay away from Roy Hodgson. And I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but I think their first mindset is going to be defence. And with a coach that's going to be leaving, I think it's pointless. I think let the season play out as it is. The new manager comes in, has a look at what he's got available to himself, and then start building from there. And I think that's going to be the best way forward, but I may be wrong.
Boys, do you okay, Ian, start with you. Have you got a different view to that?
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from, Steve, and I sort of get that. I'm not as anti-Roy as you are. I don't think he's out. I know, he's not all out attacking. Of course he isn't, but he sets up not to lose, which has kept us in the league, which is important at this moment in time. I've got a lot of time for the guy. I think he needs to have our respect as supporters of this club. And, I wish him well, after the end of the season, if he goes. I do think he'll go. And the reason I think he'll go is that he's not been announced, his new contract. And he's been asked every game he gets asked. And he says, I'm going to give you the same answer. We haven't decided yet. And I think he knows, really. He probably knows. But time will tell, won't it? We shall see. It'll be interesting, nevertheless.
To say anti-Roy, yes, I am. I ain't going to lie. But I think you're right. He deserves the respect because of what he has done from a business point of view and a football club from, the board's point of view, and from what he's done keeping us in the Premier League. You cannot, you can't speak highly of him. I just think from a potential entertainment point of view and from someone paying their money, I think a fresh approach is needed now and a different way forward.
I'm being entertained in the chat by Tim. I'm coming to you now. Okay, Lee Lockwood has just said, "What if Roy stays for another season, though?" And he has mentioned that he's come back to him and says, "No, Lee, wash your mouth out." What about if he does stay, Tim?
On the academy and the youth setup, I'm still not sure if our board look at it as supplying players for the first team or as a cash cow to develop and then sell on and make a profit. On Roy, I would like to see Roy go, and I'd like to see Frank Lampard come in. But I have to agree with our board, with their past actions, and with the COVID and with the money side, it would not surprise me if it doesn't get announced that he stays for another year. I don't want him to, but it really wouldn't surprise me.
One thing I will say, though, is that whoever is manager of this club next season, I will be 100% behind the club, 100% behind the team, and I'll support them in the same way as I've always supported them. And these people that I've seen online that say, if Roy's there, I'm leaving, I'm not going anymore, I'm not renewing my season ticket. Well, yeah, bye, because you're missing out. Because, for me, it's in my DNA, I have to be there, home and away if I can. And I'll watch them whoever's in charge.
But what I would say to that is hopefully next season fans will be returning. And I've forgotten now how much it costs to go and watch a game up there. But how many, looking at the level and standard of most of the football that's been played this year by Palace, it's entertainment, it's supposed to be. How many people are still going to be prepared to spend the kind of money they're going to have to spend, home and away, to watch that level of football?
Well, Palace fan base away from home is very loyal, Tim, very loyal still. We always take lots away. We always make lots of noise. For me, this is what I've missed probably most about lockdown is the guys at football. It's not just the game. It's the pub beforehand. It's travelling up, bit of breakfast at Euston. The crack on the losing your coat. All kinds of things. It's the day out, isn't it? And, I'm fortunate. I can afford to do it. And that's fine. But it is something that, and you see the regular faces. It's brilliant. I love it, and I miss it.
And I'll tell you now, it's the camaraderie. Ian, think about the laughs we've had on a train.
Tremendous times, haven't we?
And
great.
it's just
away days are best,
And I miss it. And I miss it. And I'll tell you what is quite interesting is the fact that the club haven't announced how many season tickets have been sold. Okay, or how many have been renewed. I reckon there's still a large percentage of people still waiting on the decision on the manager.
Maybe
before they renew. Right, we've got a few more minutes left, boys. I want to touch on the last few games of the season, ladies and gentlemen out in Facebook land. I'm directing this at you. We have got 5 games left. We've got Sheffield away. Funny enough, Ian, Sheffield away.
Sheffield United away, last season, mate.
You remember what Sheffield United away means to me. We got Southampton away on the 11th. On Sunday the 16th, we got Tuesday. Sunday the 16th, we got Villa at home. Wednesday the 19th, we've got Arsenal at home. And the final game of the season is Sunday the 23rd of May, Liverpool away. Ladies and gentlemen out in Facebook land, a points tally from that lot, please. So that's Sheffield away, Southampton away, Villa at home, Arsenal at home, and Liverpool away. Your thoughts, please. Where do you think how many points are we going to gain from that lot? Starting off with Steve, who's given us his number already. You go
6.
5, are you?
No, I'm going 6. 2 wins.
Really? And where are you going to get those wins from?
I fancy Sheffield United away. We should sneak a 1-0 there, but actually set up counter-attacking as usual. And I fancy us beating Villa. I really do.
Blimey. Okay, Tim, your thoughts?
4.
Okay. And Mr. Noble?
You've got every combination in the chat. It's quite amusing watching it come through. It's like the tickets. I'm going 8. I think 2 wins, 2 draws, and a defeat. He's shaking his head in New Zealand. He can't believe it. But I've always said this. My glass is always half full. It's not quite half full at the moment, but it's always half full. And that probably means 5 then. My 8 means 5.
And I've just seen one comment in the chat that I do want to pick up on. John Lyons, I can see you there. John Lyons is a family member of Red and Blue Review. He said, I've not missed football this year down to his family issues, but I've got a ticket for next year and looking forward to it. If we stay up or go down, it'd just be good to be back at Selhurst. And John, when you do get yourself up to Selhurst, you and I are going to have the biggest pint ever. Love to your family, and you know what I mean. He is an absolute integral part of the Red and Blue. You don't hear much from John, on here, but he's absolutely integral part of our team, and he always will be.
John, just bear in mind, Nick won't buy the point. You'll have to buy it, but he'll have it.
and that's rich. That's
true,
rich
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's bloody rich coming from you. Flew all the way from New Zealand and didn't buy a pint. What's the matter with you? Right, so
Oh, that's harsh.
Just very quickly, Nick, before we all cut off, I know we're going to be going off any second now. Can I just
No, it's
say
all right.
to
No, we've got
everybody
a
out
couple
in
of minutes.
Facebook land, if there is anybody that is sort of shy of talking or wants to get in touch regarding any issues they have, just want to chat or reach out, then please do send me a message on Facebook.
Thank you, mate. And Tom Clark Samuel, thank you for your work behind the scenes. Tom Clark Samuel asked the question: is it time to build for next season and pick some of the kids? I know we've already touched on that, but Steve doesn't think so. Tim?
Definitely. We haven't got much choice with the amount of money we've got, have we?
So there was talk, Ian, about a £50 million war chest. Well, £50 million ain't going to buy very much, is it?
No, not really. I think money needs to be spent wisely. I'd look in the Championship as well, the close season. Some. I mean, look, people like Ollie Watkins was playing Championship football last season. He's had a great season for Villa. The boy that replaced him, that came from Peterborough, Tony. If Brentford don't go up, I'd make a bid to try and sign him. I'd look at the young centre backs in the Championship. I don't know who they are, but I don't follow it closely enough. But I'll be if I was Dougie Freeman, I'd be all over that. You've got to look at the people that have got potential coming through in maybe the division below that are playing well. And I'm always reluctant to look at teams that are relegated because they're relegated for a reason. They weren't good enough, so they went down. But there will be one or two in Fulham, West Brom, and Sheffield maybe that you think actually, in the right team, they could do very well. So it'll be an interesting shopping market, I would suggest as well.
Isn't Ferguson still injured?
Who?
The right back that we signed from West Brom on a free.
Ferguson.
Yeah, he's still injured.
Yeah, he's on
his way back.
No,
yes.
Right. I'm gonna before we do cut off, and I was going to cut us off there, but Max Francis has just asked you boys a question, and I'm going to come to you all on it. Okay. With Jose looking as though he's going to, is it Roma? Anybody's thoughts on Fonseca? Anybody got an opinion on this Fonseca guy?
I don't know much about him, to be honest.
Really.
I haven't seen anything about it, but I'd stick to our philosophy of British managers.
Yeah, Tim's talked about Lampard. My vote would be Lampard, and the reason I vote Lampard: A, he's looking for a job at the moment. B, he's got Premier League experience. C, he's got experience too of the Championship, which I think is important recently. Well respected in the game. All kinds of reasons why Frank Lampard should be manager of Crystal Palace.
And fingers in the Chelsea pile as well. So that could be quite beneficial. Yeah. Tim?
No, Lampard. It's got to be. That's the only choice I think really that we've got that will fit the club. To be fair.
Thank you.
Unless you spend the money, Lampard would be my choice if you can't afford Gerrard. But I'd also take a punt with the Brentford manager. Is it Thomas Frank?
Yeah, if they don't go up, because they're still in the playoffs.
They're still in the playoffs.
But it's the money side of things.
I'm going to finish that.
But again, he hasn't got Premier League experience. That's what would doubt it for me. I'd rather have Eddie Howe ahead of him. Eddie Howe, right, he had, he worked with limited. Right, they spent money at Bournemouth, but there were limitations, I think, at that club. But I think he's a good manager. He's still young enough.
What about the Cowley brothers?
No. Right, we're going to draw. I'm going to draw the line there.
Chris Coleman.
Steve, absolutely
Chris
not.
Coleman.
Steve, one last question to you. There is a reason why I'm asking you this question. Your age, please.
37.
Oh, boys, does he qualify to be an ultra? Or is
just about? Yeah,
he's in. Okay, Steve.
Well, he better look at the Lions.
Right.
My dog's better looking than Lions, and I ain't got a fucking dog. Right, listen, boys. Steve, congratulations. Welcome to the family, mate. Ian, always, mate. I can't do the show without you. Thank you so much. Tim, thank you for getting up so early on. Is it Tuesday morning over there now?
Yeah. No, Wednesday.
Oh, no, of course, I was bank holiday Monday over it. Ian Lyons in the background, thank you for producing. Everybody out in Facebook land, thank you for joining us once again. We'll see you probably Sunday night post the Sheffield game, is it? Sheffield? Is that what I said? Yeah, post the Sheffield game. So thank you on behalf of myself and the entire team. And you can see this is an ever-growing team. We wish you well, stay safe, look after each other, and reach out if you need to. Up the Palace. Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.
Good night.